What's up, guys? My name is Veronica, also known as Coach V, and I am your host for the Oversharing podcast with Live the Dream Media. Good morning. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Oversharing podcast. My name is Veronica, also known as Coach V. I'm your host. Welcome back to yet another amazing week of the podcast. I'm super excited. Thank you to be here with you guys today. Coming in hot with a little bit of a mini-sode before we have our guest on. And yeah, let's just kind of deep dive into everything that is all weekend and all the fun things. So starting off strong, I hosted a Friendsgiving on Friday. Those of you that follow me on Instagram, I know I always say that, but sometimes I go through these things and then remember that I've already shared some of this on Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, you should. Anyway, I hosted my first Friendsgiving at our little casita, and it was amazing. It was very small, very intimate, just like my really close friends. But I did have the responsibility of making the turkey this year, and that was really nerve-wracking. Praise to all the moms, because I don't know how they do it every year without freaking out. Like when it's something that's so important as a main course, I was literally shitting myself. I was so scared. I called my mom like 4 or 5 different times to make sure I was doing it right. Luckily, it came out really well. My friends helped me with the sides. It was wonderful. It was a good time. But now we get to move on to the fun, spicy stuff, which is Christmas. And I'm so excited about the holidays. This is me and Ernie's first Christmas in our own home. So the goal was to let Christmas just fucking throw up in our household. And I have been working on it for the past few weeks, but I'm finally putting out my Christmas tree on Sunday. Me and my sister and mom started kind of like a new tradition where we're calling it the tour of the Christmas tree, like the family tour Christmas tree. My sister got ahead of ourselves. She already put hers up, but I was down in Nogales this weekend. We helped my mom kind of organize some stuff because she's putting hers up during the week. And then they're coming up to Tucson on Sunday to help me set up my Christmas tree. When I say they're going to help me, they're probably going to do it and I'll cook for them, or I'm going to be in charge of my little gingerbread village. But that is a theme. We're doing full gingerbread in the house. Super excited. Ernie's pretty stoked about it. We've done a few different themes in the past few years, but I was really excited to start fresh, new set of everything. So super excited about that. Hit up Hobby Lobby, Home Goods, TJ Maxx, Target, anywhere and everywhere has so many good things, but I will say my favorite is definitely Hobby Lobby, and they're 50% off, so make sure you guys go check them out. What else happened? Yesterday, I was able to go out and celebrate one of my friend's birthdays. We went out to Amelia's Kitchen on North Oracle. You guys, if you haven't been there, I'm a chilaquiles girly until I die. I love chilaquiles. They're my favorite thing. They hands down have at least top 3 in Tucson chilaquiles. It was so good. The staff was super friendly. I didn't even know they had breakfast, but they were amazing. Super nice staff. Café de olla, chilaquiles, chile rellenos, all the fun things. Make sure you guys check them out. They were awesome. I think that's pretty much it. I did go celebrate my sister's birthday down in Nogales. That was also a lot of fun. It's always good just to spend time with the family and get some nostalgic feels when I'm home. So it's always really nice to do that. Besides that, nothing crazy happening. Just kind of chugging along, getting ready for the holidays. I am really, really excited about our next guest today. We are going to have a total hour of tea time. Lots and lots of messages from your question boxes on Instagram. Another reason why you should follow me on Instagram, because we do a lot of polls on there, lots of answering questions, topics that we're going to talk about. Today is all about relationships, dating red flags, friendship red flags, falling outs, all the things you're going to want to listen. Some things you may not want to hear, but we're going to do it anyway. Before we cut to a break, I want to let you guys know we still have our lines open. You guys can call in, ask questions, give us some tea, or let us know that you need help dissecting a situation. You can call 520-477-1106, and that'll link you right to me. We'll have you on, we'll dissect, and we'll talk about it. So super excited about our next guest. We will be right back after these sponsorships.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair. My drains were clogged. I was really in despair. So I called some guy. You've never seen such a mess. And every time he leaned over, well, you can probably guess. Now I get it done right by Picture Rocks Cooling. They're neat and clean, peachy keen. Really no fooling. Got a problem? Just call up and help is coming. Picture Rocks
Hi, I'm Alan Murdoch. For the past 20 years, I've been buying, fixing, and selling properties right here in Southern Arizona. And I want to buy your property. Whether it's a house, apartment, commercial building, or vacant land, regardless of the condition or the situation, I want to talk to you. When you sell to me, I pay cash and it's hassle-free. No repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. If you have a property you don't want to deal with and you want a quick solution, call, text, or visit selltoalan.com. Again, that's selltoalan.com.
Discover the power of 88 Crime, where your anonymous tips are rewarded with cash. When you call in anonymously with the tip, you are given a code. With the code and a password, you can walk into a bank and redeem your reward anonymously. If your anonymous tip results in a felony arrest, you can claim up to $2,500 cash reward. Let's stop the silence on crime and strive for a safer community. For more information, please visit 88crime.org or call 88crime.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, coppercreekcookies.net.
We can print anything on our soft vanilla logo cookies. We deliver them and other sweet treats locally. We are located at 4249 West Ina Road, Suite 121. Call us 520-300-1131. We bake smiles.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, coppercreekcookies.net.
All right, guys, we are back for an amazing tea time episode with the one and only Stephany Victoria. She is an amazing friend, acquaintance, somebody that I've known for a while. She does have some history in radio, podcasting, shows, media, all that stuff. So she knows what it's like to be here, be in front of the mic. We're just excited to dive deep into a lot of things. She is recently engaged. Today is her dating anniversary. She's way better than me. I forgot mine last week. But please welcome to the Oversharing Podcast, Stephany Victoria.
Hello. So I look there, huh? Okay.
That's your camera.
Hola. I know it's so weird to be like on this side. I'm like used to being on your seat, so I'm like
the last time that I saw you, we did the interview in Phoenix.
Yes.
What was that for?
It's a Chicanos por la Causa Empodérate podcast.
Ándale, pues.
Yeah.
And that was like a full. It was similar to this, but like.
Yep.
There's a lot more bright lights, and it was fun. It was a good time.
Yeah, it was like similar to the studio. You know, we went live too, and we just had a lot more people on there.
There was like at least like 12 people, and they're all working between studio, mic, light, camera, setup. I felt like I was on a show.
Estábamos como si estuviéramos en la sala acá, pero, you know, like...
Como un sitcom.
Yeah.
Nomás faltaba que dijeran, aplaudan. Hey,
well, we had that, but later on we introduced it on the background.
The buttons. The guys have the buttons. You guys forgot the buttons for when I said her name. What the fuck?
Jeez. Jesus. No special treatment.
The mic guys are lacking today. Before we get ahead of ourselves, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about your history. Mm-hmm. When I talked to you last, you were transitioning out to self-employment. Yeah. You're doing some wicked shit now that I absolutely love, but tell us all about it.
Well, first of all, just so you guys know, I don't have a poker face. So you're going to see so many types of, so many types of like faces pop out of here. But
same girl.
My name is Stephany. I've been in this type of like communication industry for a long time, ever since I can remember. I guess I know how to talk and I know how to make people laugh like you do. Yeah. And then, we can relate. Before I was at Chicanos por la Causa, we were doing PR. We were doing a podcast over there. You guys should check it out, Empodérate. And now it was a total
full
180,
like 360, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. I never thought I'd be in this industry, but I've always been very much about having your own liberty, financial, like take the bull by the reins type of situation. So I jumped in with my fiance. We're doing we're kicking off our trucking business, which was our anniversary like a month ago.
Freeze, you got licensed to drive a semi truck?
I'm a total trucker, so beep beep. If you see me, driving by, just
if you honk at me, I'll honk back. Wait, hold on. You also used to work for radio.
I did.
What radio did you work for?
I worked for iHeartRadio, and then I was a jockey on the weekends for Hot 98.3.
That's what it was. Hot 98.3. Give us like a Hot 98.3 like little vibe.
Oh my God.
Pero del podcast episode.
Okay.
Así, dale.
So this is just Fanny Lou. Thanks for joining us at Hot 98.3. Now we got all the best joints and all the best songs for the weekend. Listen up.
And the Oversharing Podcast with Coach E.
Okay. Ay, perdón. Okay, here we are with Coach V at the Oversharing Podcast.
There we go.
Make sure you call us up and send us your questions.
Send us all your dating shit. Dude, the shit that I got yesterday was unhinged.
I'm like
can't
dying
wait.
to hear it.
There was a lot.
I saw some that you shared with me and I was like, damn, I thought I was scandalous. So yeah, I mean, okay, so I was kind of nervous because I'm like, I can talk some shit, dude. But I don't want to go into details.
You know what I'm thinking? I was literally thinking this on the way here. I was like, I don't mind sitting here and having a conversation with a camera that can't talk back.
Yeah.
But I feel like every time you're in town, you're just gonna have to be like, hey, I'm in town. Let's fucking record like a mini-sode and talk shit.
We should. I know, because like I feel like your vibe is like, and that's the thing. Like I remember when remember that first time we met on FaceTime. Remember? I
have the worst memory.
It's okay, I got you. So it was a FaceTime, and it was, you know, my ex and you guys were in the kitchen or something, and then you popped up and you said hello, and at that time you only knew his version of it, so you were like, girl, take care of my man or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like,
take care of my dude. I probably didn't say my man.
No, yeah, the dude.
I was
my
like,
dude.
I probably said take care of my dude.
This my dude. And then I was like, ovHER. And then, but then after that, I was like, I like her. She's like a no bullshit type of girl, which is kind of like the vibe that we give.
But you're also a very no bullshit.
That's why I'm like, we feed off each other's energy.
We have to talk about all this because so
Yeah.
this is already a red flag right here. We used to, I used to in college.
Yeah.
First of all, your ex wasn't even supposed to live with us, by the way. It was me.
He's a grown ass dude.
It was 3 of us, and it was supposed to be his little brother. Then he ended up moving in with his girlfriend, and then whatever it is, right? I will say, I probably felt the same about you, but it was only because I didn't know your side of the story.
Yeah.
And now that I'm older and you can step back and reflect, women act the way a man makes them act. So like the defensiveness, all that was very much so because of all the toxicity that was happening in that relationship that I had no idea about.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
exactly. And that's like why I think like I have like such good feelings towards you, because I'm like, man, that shit wasn't even a factor.
Yeah.
Like that
I'm
was
good
so
now.
like, you know what I mean? Like it was such a, let's just start with saying it was such a toxic relationship, especially at that point.
Yeah.
And I knew that like taking a step back, I'm like, she's probably just getting that side of the story. She doesn't even know who I am.
And at that, you're a little bit older than I am. Like at that point, I was 21. Like we were going out. Dude, oh my gosh. Like if we're talking about red flags, that man living with 3 college girls.
Tell me, girl.
Was a red flag.
I was like, what the fuck is happening here?
We'll get into all that. This is going to be really
we're definitely
interesting.
going to get into that for sure.
Okay. So let's go back. So you were working for media.
Yeah.
You started your own trucking company with your husband, your fiance.
Fiance, yeah.
Pause.
Yeah.
Tell us about your fiance.
Yeah.
Wait, it's your dating anniversary. You guys are recently engaged. Are we planning a wedding? What's happening?
Yes, but okay, so I'm very different, right? Like I'm very practical, and I think we're just gonna elope or just do a quick
that.
like, you know, civil wedding and vámonos pa enfrente, until like I'm ready to really party. Like, cause if I'm gonna do something, like I want to go hard, and I want to really enjoy it. And just being in the first year of business, like that's our baby.
Yeah.
Like that's where we're really focusing on. My man, he's literally like, I remember there was this point where when I was really big in church, they're like, write down everything you want in your man, like write him down like to the T what you want him to be. And I remember I used to have like a hard time describing him physically, but I always was like, I want a really hardworking man. I want somebody that's gonna match my ambition. I want somebody that's gonna be my partner.
Todo lo que lo contrario antes, no?
Tell me. And I want somebody that's gonna be like just but like grabbing the bull by the horns. And I'm telling you, he's a Capricorn. So
Ernie's a Capricorn. Are you an Aries?
I'm an Aries.
I just lost my headphones.
Capricorn Aries is a crazy mix.
It's a good mix.
It's so good. Like,
he's the right kind of calm.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like, and I don't know about you, in my relationship dynamic, and there's so many of these questions that we got yesterday that like lead into different conversations. One of them was like the talk about like the lack of ambition or like setting goals. I believe that, but I also feel like it takes the right kind of woman to set intentions into a future.
Right.
Like if you're the kind of person that's just very go with the flow, your partner 9 times out of 10 is going to be very go with the flow. I don't work that way.
I'm not like that.
Yeah.
See, my sister's like that. And I see like the differences in like the type of men that we go for. And
Yeah.
I'm like, over here, I'm like,
Yeah.
like,
why are you okay with
why?
that?
And then I see her and I'm like, oh,
That makes sense.
that
She's
makes
more
sense.
chill. She's
Yeah.
more, and I think that it does take a good woman to like, I can confidently say I feel like I'm a good woman. I feel like
Yeah,
I'm a good wife.
I agree.
But I also feel like a lot of the growing opportunities for husband Ernie in our marriage has been that I have been like, all right, what's the plan?
Yeah.
Because men get comfortable.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think like women do too, you know? So I feel like that's the key about having somebody that matches that type of energy, because there comes parts in life when you just either you get so focused in other things and sometimes you could lose yourself, and then you have your partner there like, hey, let's
drag
do
you
this.
along. Yeah.
And it's like get that little fire ignited again.
Yeah.
Which is kind of where I'm at in my relationship now. I love my man. He's amazing. He's a little bit older than me, which I never thought I would do, honestly, but I feel like I was in the right place when it started, that it feels
didn't
amazing.
even matter. Yeah.
We just got back from Sedona, and I'm
saw
telling
your
you,
pictures.
yeah, girl, we went to West Fort Trail. We hiked for 6 hours. Okay, so we got there. It was 4 hours in. I was like dying. I was
like,
like,
can we
give
turn
me
around
some
now?
dates. Give me some Brazilian nuts. I'm like, I could fall asleep right here, because I literally slept 4 hours.
Yeah.
And before going on that hike, and then after, like on the way back, I'm that type of person. Like I'll hike and I'll just take my time getting there. But once I'm there, I'm like, let's get the hell out of here.
Let's go back.
We ran back, and like an hour and a half we got back. I'm like, it was
Dang.
amazing. It was a great weekend. Like if you've never been to Sedona with your significant other, like I really, really recommend it.
I don't think maybe we did. I can't remember.
You should go, man. It's so romantic.
I know, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I told Ernie this probably like, I would say probably like a couple months ago. We were driving past Picacho Peak, and
yeah.
I've hiked Picacho Peak like 3 times.
That's a brutal one.
Dude, I literally looked at the mountain and I was like, you know what I'm realizing? He was like, what? I was like, I hiked that mountain. And I was like, and for fucking what? And I said, and that's how I know I'm growing up. I said, because who the fuck wants to go to the top of a mountain to
Bitch,
see
us.
the view? Like, give me a fucking margarita. I'm good. And he goes, yeah. He goes, that's how I feel. I was like, good.
That's
Thank God we're on the same
funny.
page.
That's so funny.
Not
Yeah,
interested.
You know you're maturing.
Not
when-
interested. I'm like, I'm good.
Girl,
All the power to you, though. Go to Sedona.
I know. Go to Sedona. I did Picacho Peak like several times too.
Yeah.
That shit is
It is hard.
brutal.
I say that with it, like I say that excessively and
Yeah.
aggressively. It is an awesome hike,
Yeah.
but I don't think I ever have to do it again. I'm good.
I remember one of my friends and I, we went and we were hungover AF, dude.
así como.
And just por stubborn, we
Vamos
went.
ahí.
And on our way down, we were like, dude, the faster we get down, the faster we get to In-N-Out, bro. So get it, like, dude, run.
That's funny that you say that. We took one of our friends to. Her name is Steph. She's probably listening because she listens. And it was the day. I don't know if we had done anything before, but we went all the way up, and she had a really hard time. Like.
It's
she
hard.
struggled. It's hard. It's a hard hike. And then we get to the top and she literally was like, how do we get back down? And in my head, I thought she was kidding. I was like, the same way you got up. And she literally could have started crying. Like, she was like, are you serious? I was like, what do you think? There was a magical slide. Y lo veníamos de bajada. She didn't say a word. She got in the car and like all she wanted was to like be dropped off at home, like whatever. And then we get off at Cortera, and I was like, "Are you sure you don't want to like go to Safe Kitchen with us? We're gonna go have like lunch and a margarita." And she was like, I guess I'll go. And then, so we get there the next day, she starts her period and she messages me. She goes, I had nothing to eat before I went. She's like, and I started my period. She's like, that's why I was emotional. She's like, I was like, dude, I don't know what you thought, like a helicopter was just going to come pick you up and take you back.
That would be nice. Imagine all the hikes we would go to. Yeah.
My goodness. Anyway, dale. Give me a
Going into like the friend situation, like I remember like sometimes I'll think about my friends and I'm like, damn, these bitches don't go, no me siguen el rollo.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I always end up going out with them and no me siguen. Well, no wonder shit. I'm
You wanna
trying to
go
go
to
to Picacho
Picacho Peak.
Peak and fucking over here. They're
and
like,
they want to
nah,
go to
bitch,
High
you're
Wire.
crazy.
I love that. I don't know. Well, when it comes to wedding stuff, you and me talked a little bit about weddings. I think we talked about destination for a little bit.
Yeah. I consider that. And I love your wedding. It was so beautiful. I lived
wish I could go back.
vicariously through you.
In a heartbeat. If someone said, like, would you do it again? I 1000% would say yes. But I think that having a wedding that you feel that way about requires you to do it your way.
Yeah.
So if you feel like, and this just goes to anybody, like you do you. I know that there's a lot of factors into this. For us specifically, we paid for about 95% of our wedding, and that was we were luckily in a good position to do so. We're adults. We're a little bit older. But I don't think that it would have been the same had our parents been fully, like, overwhelmingly helping us, you know? Because then they feel, like, obligated to have more say. And I think that's just, like, I don't know if it's a culture thing. I don't know if it just happens in general. But I'm glad that we did it that way. It was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I have the pleasure of knowing your parents and like a good part of your family.
Your sister. Well, my parents love your sister.
Yes, I'll get DMs from your brother Damian that he's at the Sulas, and he's like, look at what I found.
Sends a picture of your sister.
The most awful picture message. She's like, what?
They're super sweet though.
I know she's awesome. She's awesome. She's been in that place for a while.
Yeah.
And she loves your parents too. Like she always texts me. She's like, oh my God, I saw Veronica. La, la, la. But yeah, there's the whole wedding situation, like, especially when you have, like, I feel like Hispanic families, they're so opinionated. Like,
so opinionated.
My mom, she is so, I love her. Hi, Mom. I love you.
I love you so much.
Don't get mad. But she's a Scorpio. She's so strong, dude.
Yeah.
Like, she'll be like, why this and why that? And then she'll get salty. And I'm like, girl, I don't have the energy for this. Like,
I think the thing that was helpful in our family was that my brother had already gotten married a few years before.
Yeah.
And the whole ripping of a Band-Aid that had to happen happened. So then I'm not going to say I had it easier, but it was easier for me. But I will say that I feel like people like you and me, like that kind of like very strong character, have an easier time.
Yeah.
Like my sister tells me all the time, she's like, it's crazy how you can say things that someone wouldn't like, but you can present it in a way where that's like, that's fine that you don't like that. It's okay.
Well,
you don't have to.
That's good, girl. Because I'm telling you, sometimes I have like I put my foot in my mouth, and I'm like,
could never.
Sorry, I love you so much.
That's
Can I
the
take
hardest
you out
thing
to a
for me.
hike?
You want to go to Pikachu Peak? La dejas en la montaña.
Yeah, no.
But do whatever you want when it comes to your wedding.
Honestly, I feel like, especially now, like there's so many different ways that you can get married. And really, if you want to go balls to the wall with the party and do it your way, do it. If you want to go elope, do it. If you want to go on a destination, like do it. This is for you. Hopefully, this is your only marriage. But no shame. If no shame,
it's okay. You can do it again.
I'm not planning.
We know plenty.
I know. I'm not planning to do it again. So, for me, I'm just kind of like, this is my life. Like you said, I pay my own bills. I get my own stuff.
My own bread, girl.
I do me. And like, you know, they're always like, mi mama, like, I get sorry, if they're going to send me like, you know, that bread for what I need to do with my life.
There's strategy in this. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
look, everybody listen up.
Give
right
us the
here.
tips, girl.
Right here. The only way to minimize a massive guest list is a destination wedding.
I know.
And it can't be like a little aquí in Sedona. No. Para allá. Un avión y un camión y una
Make
bicicleta
it as hard
para
as
allá.
possible. Hey, you made it hard. You got an avión and then a boat ride still.
And a boat ride. It was awesome though. But we took our list from 170 to 74. And it was hard, but it was also very much like there was all these options. And I remember at one point I was like getting flustered and overwhelmed. And Ernie was like, what do you want? And I had told Analia, my maid of honor, we had gone on a girls trip like 4 years before I got engaged to that place. And I told her, I said, I'm going to get married here.
That's
and she remembers. And I remember Ernie was like, what do you want? You're getting frustrated and overwhelmed. And I was like, I want to get married at that beach in Puerto Vallarta. And he was like, perfect. That's what we're doing. And I was like,
yay.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yes, Daddy.
Yeah.
Cochina. Okay. Let's get away from the wedding talk because now we're not going to have time to talk about all the other shit that we got.
We can go hours and hours.
Let's kind of have a transition here. There's a big shift from when I met you to like where you are now.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was leaving a toxic relationship. So let's talk a little bit about that.
I feel like the biggest toxic relationship that I left was my own. Like, oof. Yeah, for real.
Can you say that
Yeah.
one more time?
The biggest toxic relationship I left was my own relationship. Like
With
the
yourself.
relationship with myself was toxic.
I was not expecting you to say that.
No, I'm serious. Like, you know, I could sit here and talk so much shit
Yeah.
about that relationship, but the truth of the matter is that I was in such a bad place when I was
Yeah.
in that relationship. I was in such a bad place. I wasn't giving my best, although I thought I was, but it was just in a different way. Like, I was so devoted to a fault.
Yeah.
And it was just because I didn't know where my boundaries were. I had such low self-esteem and such low self-respect. And my life was in turmoil when that relationship started. Like, I had just gone through very, very, well, I'm very open about this, so I'll say it. 4 years before I started that relationship, I was sexually abused.
Okay.
And then the fact that really like just put that cherry on the top
Yeah.
was that my family, my mom decided to live with my abuser. So
That's
I was
heavy,
still like,
bro.
you know, I was not processed. Like, I was stuck.
How old were you at that point?
When the abuse happened, I was 12. When the whole situation, well, it started when I was 10, but when the whole situation, like, I couldn't process like my mom's actions, where I was 14.
Yeah.
So, and then I jumped into that relationship when I was 16, bro, like almost 17. So that whole thing, I was stuck. I was still trying to process what was happening. I was still like, my respect and boundaries obviously had been completely like
Off the books, not even existent.
yeah, like the people who supposedly were supposed to protect me, respect me, and respect my boundaries had totally just ran over them.
Yeah.
So when I got to this relationship, I had no like sense of
And
what that was.
no expectations too. I think that while we get into this, it's good to understand that there's so much tied into all of this. The healing the relationship with yourself, healing the relationship with your mom.
Yeah.
All the things that had to happen for you to, one, leave,
Yep.
and two, find your happiness elsewhere.
Yeah.
Freeze for a second. We're going to cut to a quick break, and then we'll pick up right there. Be right back, guys. Don't go.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair. My drains were clogged. I was really in despair. So I called some guy. You've never seen such a mess. And every time he leaned over, well, you can probably guess. Now I get it done right by Picture Rocks Cooling. They're neat and clean, peachy clean. Really no fooling. Got a problem? Just call up and help is coming. Picture Rocks Cooling, heating and plumbing.
Hi, I'm Alan Murdoch. For the past 20 years, I've been buying, fixing, and selling properties right here in Southern Arizona. And I want to buy your property. Whether it's a house, apartment, commercial building, or vacant land, regardless of the condition or the situation, I want to talk to you. When you sell to me, I pay cash and it's hassle-free. No repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. If you have a property you don't want to deal with and you want a quick solution, call, text, or visit selltoalan.com. Again, that's selltoalan.com.
Discover the power of 88 Crime, where your anonymous tips are rewarded with cash. When you call in anonymously with the tip, you are given a code. With the code and a password, you can walk into a bank and redeem your reward anonymously. If your anonymous tip results in a felony arrest, you can claim up to $2,500 cash reward. Let's stop the silence on crime and strive for a safer community. For more information, please visit 88crime.org or call 88crime.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, coppercreekcookies.net.
We can print anything on our soft vanilla logo cookies. We deliver them and other sweet treats locally. We are located at 4249 West Ina Road, Suite 121. Call us 520-300-1131. We bake smiles.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, coppercreekcookies.net.
Veronica. It's all right. All my life.
I know.
A Vanessa or a Victoria?
Oh, Victoria. Vanessa, ¿cómo te gusta Vanessa?
I have a cousin named Vanessa.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, before we went to our break, so you started dating him when you were 16. This was after some sexual abuse that happened like earlier in your childhood. Walk us through that transition.
Through the transition of the relationship or out of the relationship?
into and out. Well, let's go out of. So we have, because I know we could talk about this for a full hour.
So out of the relationship, like as I was going through my, growing up, and I was really like, I was so dedicated to my education, just reaching a different life that I was just leaving behind. I felt like I was always dragging something behind me. I was like, damn, I'm like working so hard because like I'm doing all of this, but then I'm also dragging like something behind me. And then, the self-love, like I was really starting, like I'm a researcher. I'm a person that loves to listen to podcasts. Like if something is not good within me, like I'll go in and I'll try to find.
You're very self-aware.
I'm very self-aware. So self-aware. So like to a point. Fault. Yeah. To a fault where I'm like, so like annoying on myself and other
like
people.
You'll find something and then you're just going to like, until you figure it out.
Exactly. So anyway, so I started realizing that there was a lot of holes in the relationship. And, I just felt, instead of feeling better about myself, I felt more negative about myself, just so criticized. Like I felt like I wasn't enough. And every time I analyzed that feeling, it led to a lot of that person's actions. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. There was a lot of insecurity because of how the other person behaved. There was so much inappropriate conversations and hangouts, and since the beginning that I would have from him with other women. And I expressed my boundaries, but they weren't respected. So I was just like, damn, I'm loyal as heck. Like, I'm so loyal. Like I'll probably, like sometimes I don't even look at a guy just because I'm like, I don't want to
be faced.
Yeah, like I don't want to make my man feel bad either. Like I don't want to put anybody
or
like
be disrespectful or
yeah, exactly. So that's how I was in that relationship, and that person was totally not even like he wouldn't fathom what I meant. Like it didn't register in his brain.
In other words, he was gaslighting you.
Yeah,
and I know that word gets thrown around like a lot, but that wasn't a term then. It was just someone literally making, like, if there was a common issue on both ends, if you had a problem, your problems didn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
But their problems did.
It's not like it didn't matter. It's just it mattered, but then the actions didn't matter enough. Like it didn't matter enough for the actions to happen. And so I remember this thing too. Like he had this job, and this is like the tea. Yeah. He had this job at a dealership. I'm not trying to say all of them, but I'm just saying a lot of them. I remember like I would find out, he would tell me about, damn, this person's cheating on this and like this person, and literally all of them were cheating on their woman at one point or another.
That's crazy.
And then later on I reflect, I'm like, qué pendeja.
Like también.
I was supposed to say like I wasn't the one too. Yeah. So that was another situation that I was like, red flag. Yeah. And finally, I was 3 months away from a wedding. The when I knew it was over was because I had made so many excuses for this person, and I always said, but I trust him, which was also a lie because I didn't trust him. And I remember I saw this message, a Facebook message from a fake Facebook account that said, I know I'm not supposed to message you on Sundays, but I really need to talk to you. And I was like, okay,
can I tell you what my biggest fear is? Yeah. And I tell Ernie all the time, like, you be careful with these bitches. And not that I'm just saying, like, and I've had this happen to friends. The worst thing is to open up a message, and it hasn't happened, luckily, but it's happened to me in the past when I was like dating people. Yeah. Where people are like, you don't know me, but hijo su puta madre, it's not good.
Red flag.
Like so bad.
Yeah, it's like the sirens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that the breaking point though?
It was a breaking point because when I grabbed that phone and I was like, investigation time, and that person I pretended to be, him, and that person had a conversation with me talking about some bull, like big time, and that was like, like relationship talks. Like she was in a relationship, but the thing that like irked me so bad was that she was like, I know that I'm not supposed to message you on this day because so and so is gonna watch it and she's gonna go crazy. So he had instructed her on when to message him so that I wouldn't find out. I'm like, that's shady. Yeah. So that was it. Like,
and also you don't want to be that girl.
No, hell no. I had already felt like a gut feeling. Yeah. Other girls would look at me and they would look at me with this look like
I want to tell you.
What the fuck are you trying to tell me, bro? Yeah. Like, so that was the end. I was like, I'm done. I
I think that there's so much, like, I'm sure there's probably times in that relationship where you probably thought about leaving or you did and then you came back and it's always easier said than done. And I've had friends in this relationship where, like, at that point, there's so much involved in this. It's like a yarn ball. Like, this is now your low self-esteem, you being gaslit, your needs not being met, you being told that you're not good enough for anybody else, or their actions reflecting like you'll never find anybody else. But then also the time. And I think that's most people, it's like we've invested so much time. Yeah, but you're also going to keep investing time on things that clearly haven't changed. So at what point is the breaking point?
See, I was in this relationship we had like a 2-year hiatus, but from 16 to 28, bro.
That's more than 10 years, bro.
Yeah, all of my like adolescencia, like all of that.
You don't know anything else at that point.
No.
The way I would have hoed it up at the day after, I'd have been like Tinder, Bumble.
I moved, so I'm very strategic. Like when I'm gonna go,
I love you. This is who you are. And this is who I am. I would do that.
I like dipped. I went to San Diego, but I was like, I ain't about to tarnish my reputation to everybody I know. So I moved to San Diego, but yeah, that was how it ended. And like there was a lot of
there was still some back and forth there because that's when I met you. You came back from San Diego for a little bit, and then that's when we met essentially.
You know, I feel like this is what I really, really want to communicate, like, to the listener, that where you are in your relationship with yourself is going to dictate a lot about how you allow certain people into your life and like what those relationships end up being like.
That's deep, bro.
No, it's
but
true.
Literally, you couldn't have worded that any better, and I'll tell you why. Because if you get out of a relationship that one has complete, first of all, I'm no relationship coach. Okay,
no, neither am I.
I just try to be a really good friend, and I try to be logical for the most part.
Yeah, but maybe you have really good instincts too.
I feel like I do, and I feel like I try to have a realistic conversation with people, even if I care about that person and not the other person.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, but you have to ask yourself why. So one, yes, the time that it takes this person, this yarn ball of again, the low self-esteem, the doubt, the insecurities, everything that this person has forged in you. But if you don't, like you said, heal that relationship with yourself, you get into another relationship, what do? The same fucking thing all over again. And I have seen it happen with some of my closest friends. I love them. God, I love them so much. And it's like the only thing I can do as a friend is try to remind them what I think they're worth.
Right, but which is great.
That also sometimes requires some therapy. That requires, is that a call? Is someone calling?
No, we got the chats pretty hot right now. Meg and Mo said they slacking. Coach Dave said Meg Mo started laughing at it. 85.7 Tucson. This is a fun show. Love it. This is a really great info.
Oh, thanks. We're here for the babes.
I know.
We're here to overshare.
Veronica, if you can, just move your mic a little bit closer to you as well.
I like this.
Let our messes be your
cleanup.
Your lessons.
Our messes be your lessons. Your lessons.
Your lessons.
No, your lessons. I really do think that, like. And I mean, there's so many, again, like so much that we could talk about when it comes to this, but I really feel like what you're saying is literally hitting it. Like you can't expect to get out of some toxic yarn ball and then throw yourself into another one without realizing, like, what are you allowing in your life?
And be self-aware. Like if you're gonna be out there dating, date, but like see what's happening. What's the pattern? What are you doing? How are you responding? Yeah. If you're a sucker for love, like you're always gonna end up in a place where that guy gets you, and then you're like, is this the right treatment that I'm getting? Am I just a sucker
for love?
Exactly. I'm a sucker for love. I will be girl. Like, if I fall hard.
Yeah.
But then that's when I was getting into these relationships where I was giving my everything, and then I was getting getting the bare minimum. So that's one of the things that like I really, really like want to have an emphasis on, like, love yourself, date, but then always don't forget about yourself. Come back to you. And culturally, I think that that's something that you have to like overcome, because culturally we're used to seeing our moms like so loyal and devoted to the person.
Literally,
that's like you're a ride or die or you suck.
Yeah, but also we're also the culture that has been conditioned to turn a blind eye to a lot of things.
Yeah.
I hate to like say this, but including your abuse when you were young, like I'm sure that took a lot of repairing with your mom to like forgive her for that. That's hard.
A long time, dude.
Did you go to therapy?
I did some therapy. I did a lot of therapy with church, but then what really got it, and this I'll share a little bit too when we go into like the friendship talk. But in 2020, I was just like, I feel like I came to a point. I was starting to get panic attacks, and my anxiety was insane, and that's when I came to a point where I was like, estoy harta.
I'm done.
I'm done. I'm so like, there was always something within me that felt pain and hurt. And that's what I was like, I'm done with this, because I felt like it was holding me back from being my best self.
You're such an Aries, bro.
Dude, for real. I was like always so like, I like making everybody feel good and worrying about everybody else. But I was just like tired.
What about me?
I was so tired at that point. And I just was like, I disconnected from everything and everyone. I took a leave of absence from work, bro, which I never do that. Like that's like the bottom line, never descuidar mi trabajo. But I just came within and I did a lot of spiritual meditation, a lot of meditation. I started doing therapy then, and then I was just like, this is the moment to dump it all out. I'm tired of having it inside me. And I stopped talking to my mom for like a little bit of time. That year, I remember it was like the Christmas, I was like, I'm not going. I'm like, if this person's still in the family, I'm not going to be there. Like, I'm not going. Like, get comfortable with not seeing me come around these type of situations if that person's going to be there. That's where I drew my line. And
that was the boundary. And it was probably really hard.
Yeah, I heard.
Because for so long, first of all, you're trying to mend this relationship with all these emotions that you have towards your mom, but also that is still hard. Like I always tell my mom when we have discussions and we don't agree, I always tell her, I'm like, Mom, you have to understand, like when we don't agree, you're no longer disagreeing or being upset at a 6-year-old Veronica, Huereja, your baby. Like you're now disagreeing with a full-blown adult. And I'm not saying that there was something to disagree on. I'm just saying you as an adult are still now having to set a boundary with a mom that you still love. Yeah. That's hard.
That was hard. That was so hard, especially because I stopped talking to her and I told her, if you continue this relationship, like I'm done with us. And I feel like, mind you, she had brain surgery when she was 26, and I don't know how that affected her, and I don't know exactly how that
the logistics of all that.
I can't, but I will give her the benefit of the doubt to say that some of their decisions I just question a lot. Yeah. And she just kind of went like into shock, and she didn't know what to do, but she stayed in the same position. She's still in the same position. Yeah. And for me, I was just like, I had to come to the point where I had to heal that pain of not seeing my mother choose me, where like that's how I was thinking it at that point. Yeah. And honestly, that's when I became so savage, because if I was like
I don't go a fuck. If I don't have my mom, I'm good.
I'm like, if I could cut like this type of relationship with my mom, it's over for y'all.
Everybody
bitches.
else is all y'all bitches that treated me wrong that one night in 2022. I got receipts. You're done.
As a matter of fact,
she's like, you want proof?
Don't go there, because I'm done. I'm done with all y'all bitches.
Love that.
I got so savage.
Do you guys have like a better relationship now?
We do, but see, I feel like being someone who felt so hard before, like I had to change. Like I'm like, I had to expect less from other people. Like my mom, she's the way that she is, and God only knows what she went through and what made her be the way she is. I forgive her. I forgive her for what happened. I forgive her how she acted. I nurture the relationship, but I don't expect so much anymore.
I love that.
Yeah,
I think that when people are just naturally givers, and I've learned this even just in my family dynamic, like you naturally want everyone to show up and be there and support each other, and that's wonderful. And it's a great quality to have. Yeah. But I will say, even just this year for myself, I've definitely taken a backseat on that. Because I can't water people, because then I also feel like, but what about me? So I decided, like, I don't want to feel like, what about me anymore? So instead of feeling like I'm giving, I'm just going to give less.
Yeah. Water
that's
yourself.
cool with me. Yes.
And I think
that's cool with me. Because yo siempre soy la primera, Steph. Ayúdame con esto. Vamos para acá. Necesito, like, I am my mother. My mother is me. I am she. We are we. We are one. Like, I am just like her. And for so many years, I saw my mom and dad give a lot of themselves to other people. And when those tables turned, those people didn't give back.
No.
So I'm like, I'm good, bro.
Yeah, and then I think that's one thing that I learned through therapy. Like, se me salió el acento bien feo. Therapy. Through therapy.
En la terapia.
Is that, you know, you have to, instead of putting all your energy out, you have to put your energy in.
Yeah.
And like when you're watering, like instead of watering all of outside, like water yourself. Like that's going to be where you flourish. Like, and that's when I started seeing like, damn, I'm out here giving all of this to people. What would happen if I give it to me?
Yeah.
And that's where going like, completing this circle, like when I was where I was before, where I am now, it's that like I even like in my relationship, I'm so devoted, but then every time like I start feeling like I'm losing myself, I'm like, okay,
I gotta do some stuff for me too.
Here comes me, like it's my turn, you know.
I feel like that's a really good way to segue into one of the things that someone sent, and it was like we put 3 polls up on Instagram. If you guys saw them, one of them was you knew it was over when you knew the friendship was over when, and dating relationships red flags. One of the you knew your friendship was over when was I stopped being the first to reach out and I haven't heard in 6 months.
Yeah.
Bro, the way that like
felt.
Yeah. And
relatable,
I love my friends. When I love you, I love you. I will give my world to you any which way I can. If you need my help, I'll be there. I try to be that friend. But every now and then your friend needs to be checked in the other way around. And it's the same dynamic with like family. Yeah. Like my mom and dad forget to check in on me. Like they do. And I don't think that they do it on purpose, but I've told my mom, like, nobody checks in on me. She's like, well, you're always doing so great. And I'm like,
you're the
I
strong
literally
one.
cried myself to sleep last night. Nobody loves me. You know, like,
yeah.
So it's like the same thing with like friendships of like, you can't always water, you can't always be the first and not have that stuff back that eventually it'll take a toll.
Yeah. And I feel like one thing that maybe like our friends don't realize, or people you've had these type of friendships before and maybe pull back, like it hurts to come to the realization where you have to draw lines and you have to draw boundaries and you have to create separation. Like maybe people may think about like, oh, what a bitch, you know, she just stopped talking to me. Like, no, bro, like trust me, it
was probably hard for her too.
Yeah, like it hurt me to like pull back from this relationship.
One of the other ones that I saw for that one, someone was like, I started to stand up for myself.
Yeah.
And that was a big like separation because I feel like people only want to know one version of you and they want to know the version that fits into their life. And as people, like we're supposed to evolve. You grow up, you're supposed to evolve. You're supposed to change. I'm not saying that you need to change into like this horribly awful person. I'm just saying that change is a part of life. And sometimes you change and people don't know that version, and that version of you now makes them uncomfortable.
Yeah. And I think like this is one thing that I've like analyzed about myself. Like I feel like I'm a person who evolves. Like I personally ask myself to evolve so much in like a short amount of time, which makes it more difficult to have like
relationships,
like, really long lasting relationships, because I have evolved so much in such short short time. In love, like romantic relationships, like I'm constantly evolving. I feel like I make relationships harder for myself.
Yes.
And then in friendships, like it's been hard because like I've had a lot of friendships that have ended because of how my life has changed. One of the friendships like I ended, you know, I think it's okay like to say, ¿sabes qué? Te quiero mucho. I love you so much, but I'm just going to choose me. Yeah. And this relationship no longer serves me, so I'm just going to bow out. And, you know, you don't have to have bitterness behind it. You can just be like, I wish you well, but let me do me, you do you.
I just saw TikTok on this last night, and this girl was like, just know that if we ended a friendship, like it's there's no ill will, there's no bad terms. It's just like, it is what it is. I'm still rooting for you from afar.
For you, yeah, for sure.
I think that the other thing, and this can go both ways with any kind of relationship, family, romantic, and friendships, you can genuinely care for somebody and love somebody from afar, and two, to protect yourself for whatever reason that means. Like you can still have a really good relationship with your mom from afar. You can still love her and forgive her from distance because that's what works for you, to protect yourself. I think that that's the same with romantic relationships. And I always tell people, like, when they get out of long-term relationships, I always tell them, like, you're not going to stop loving them tomorrow.
Right.
But you can also know that you really do care about that person and that person is not right for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's also hard to do.
It is. It is. And the more in tune you are with yourself, like, I know this is hard, man.
Yeah.
The daily bust and grind out here, it's like, it makes it so hard to be in tune with yourself. But when you're in tune with yourself, like, you can start to, like, I always have this compass within me that I'm like, I feel like my soul is asking me to go through this journey, to walk through this journey. Like, allow yourself to have the friendships, then allow yourself to deviate from it. Like, follow where you need to follow the, like, that calling of your soul.
Yeah.
And if the less in tune we are with ourselves, the more lost we get towards that.
One of the hardest things when it comes to, like, being in tune with yourself, and again, like you said, we live in such a busy life. I'll raise my hand, like, such a busy life all the time. But the one thing that helped me, and again, take it with a grain of salt, this might work for you, this might be really fucking hard because it was for me, was to sit in silence.
Yeah.
No phone, no TV, no music. Silence.
Yeah.
Because it allows you to think, and then you kind of start processing, like, why is it that you're thinking this way? You know? That's really hard. And it's hard for me to do, but just think about all the background noise all the time. You're at work, people are talking to you. You're driving, the radio's on. You're at home with your husband, you're watching TV. Your brain is constantly being pulled into something to distract it from what you could really be feeling, thinking, whatever. Yeah. It's really uncomfortable. It really is.
It's really uncomfortable.
I feel like it's really helped me, and it's also helped me be able to sit. Just sit.
Yeah.
Bitch, sit down. Like,
bitch,
you can sit down. I'm tired. I'm tired today. I'm getting hyped, though. This is a good episode.
I know.
But, like, it's hard for me to just sit. A lot of it with the way that we're raised, but a lot of it because I'm always doing something. So when I sit down, I feel like I'm being unproductive, you know? But
yeah, and also that, like, negative, like, idea of, like, if you're not being productive, like, you're slacking.
Yeah.
Like, it's not true. Like, it's productive to sit down and be quiet, because if you sit down and you're quiet, you're giving yourself that time and that space to really, like, see,
reflect.
Yeah, what's going on with your life? Where do you want it? What are you doing? And all that stuff.
I love that. One of my clients yesterday, I talk about her probably every week. Dora, I love you so much. She was telling me how she was, like, having some thoughts, but she was alone, and she was alone all weekend, and she was thinking of all these things, and I was like, that's good though.
Yeah,
like, it gives you the opportunity to think about, why are you having those? Where are those deep rooted feelings coming from? And then you can dissect that whole thing, you know?
When I was, like, super, super social, like, you know, in my singleness, I love all of the people and all my friendships that I've developed over the years, and that those times that I had that we were so close and devoted. Like, I love every person that was in it. When I was going through that time, I was so social, but I remember I came to a point where I drew the line, and I was like, Sundays is a me day. Like, don't ask me, don't invite me, don't nothing. It's a Sunday. It's a me day. So I always, like, made sure I had that day where I was like, Stephany, this is your day to build yourself
and that's
up.
it.
Like, you know,
I love that.
Yeah.
That's your day. Ernie will love that I said that.
Yeah.
I think that's really hard for me because I literally messaged Ernie yesterday and I said, what is your perfect day? Your most perfect day? And I asked him because I was listening to another podcast and they were talking about how, like, if one partner wants to rot on the couch all day and the other one's like, come on, let's go for a walk. Like, and, like, that's two different personalities, but also two things can be true, and you can maybe go for a walk in the morning and then rot on the couch. Anyway, he sent me, like, this whole perfect day. And it was very similar to what I would want a perfect day to look like sleep in, have coffee on the couch. He said, go golf. And in my head, I was like, maybe go for a walk and then come back and have the rest of the afternoon to do nothing. But the way that you said it makes more sense to me. And I don't know why, but that just clicked. Like, it just turned on of, like, this is your day to make yourself the best version that you can be, to get yourself ready for the week, whatever it is, you know?
Yeah, it is. It's important. I had my friends trained. I remember one time they asked, like, you know, it's your due day, but... Your due day. It's like your you day.
Yeah.
But do you want... I'm like, no. Thank you, though.
You know what? The other thing, too, that's really hard for people, and I like, this can just go into, like, more of, like, self-reflection, is saying no is hard to anything. Saying no and setting boundaries is hard. I think that the people that genuinely love you and know you know how hard that is. It's harder for some than others.
Yeah.
So, for example, a couple weeks ago, I was supposed to go to a concert. I was fucking wiped, bro. Like, it was maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I had just came back from Portugal.
Like,
I was
I
leaving
know,
to Disneyland the
awesome.
next day. Like, it was crazy. And I was supposed to go to Park and Recall 'em, and I couldn't. I literally could not. I texted my friend and I was like, I love you so much. And I literally said in the text, you know, this is really hard for me. I said, but I cannot go.
Yeah.
And she was like, it's okay, friend.
Yeah.
Like, because those people know you, you know, like I can be as social as I can be, but once I'm done, bruh, like I need to be done. And it's hard. It's hard.
And I think like this is like the part of the friendships that, you know, it's hard because like I think it takes a toll on both sides. But like, for example, I have drawn back from a couple of friendships because once I got into this really like serious relationship, I started getting so guilt tripped for not showing up to go out drinking or not showing up to do all of these things that I was doing when I was single. But I'm in such a different place. So it felt so shady and so hurtful to be on the receiving side of having your friends not understand that you're going through a really important life change and you're just trying to be the best you can be.
In a positive way too.
And it's not saying like I'm not going to be back and like go out here every now and then, but it's just like right now this is my focus. It has to be.
That was one of the you know, the friendship was over when and it was like again, two things can be true, right? And it was like I had kids and I just like that kind of relationship. And I feel that so hard because I have had friends that have also I had friends that had kids like right out of high school. And a part of me feels guilty because I was like, I wasn't really part of their lives at that point. And honestly, I'm still not. But we were at such different times, you know, like I was out partying, having fun, doing the whole college thing. Like, and I think that there will be a time where it's backwards because now their kids will be older. I'm trying to start a family on my own now. And all those things then deviate. I also think when it comes to friendships, like some of them do ebb and flow. I have friends that I don't see very regularly, but I have friends that I hadn't seen in a long time that went to my wedding.
Yeah.
And if they invited me to yours, I would be there. And if they invited me to the baptism, I would go. Like there's important things. Like I had to go to a friend's grandma's funeral. I didn't have to. You're right. I said I had to go. I didn't have to go.
Yeah.
But I still respect those friendships. And I know that they will have their time again.
Yeah.
Some won't, but some will have their time again. I also think it's completely normal to have friendships in different areas of your life.
Right.
Business, social, right on the couch. Like, and some that do it all.
Right.
That's like not a bad thing to have. But I think people cling on to like I've been asked,
Keeping
like,
it
how do
the
you make
same,
so many friends? I'm like, because I meet everybody where they're at. Like, where are we at? Like, are we talking business? Let's go talk business.
Yeah.
Are we having fun at the Maverick? Let's fucking go. You know, like,
and
there's friends that I only see every now and then, and there's friends that I know that when we get together, it's going to be a riot and it's going to hurt the next day. But those same friends also the next day are like, let's just ride on the couch today.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I feel like that's the thing. Like, you know, having that respect of, like you said, the ebb and flow of things. I think that that's one really good point. Like maybe we don't expect to have those relationships where they're going to change. They're going to, you know, be really constant sometimes and very like distant others. But as long as you have that love and respect there, like you can let it ebb and flow. Yeah. When I've noticed that I start like being so critical and I start talking a lot of shit about my friends, like I always catch myself and I'm like, no, I hate this version of me. Like that's like my toxic trait is when I like start talking about people, I'm like, oh hell no. Like, let me reel it back because that's
why
not
am
cool.
I processing it this way?
Yeah.
I think that's a really, I mean, we could talk about this. Like you have to come back whenever you're back in town. We'll have another fun episode. But that's a really good way to wrap it up for the most part is I always like to remind people in a perfect world. And I think that you'll be able to relate to this because you're so open to energies and open to growth and open to the way you self-reflect. Yeah. I try to assume that everyone has the best of intentions.
Yeah.
Like no matter what. Like,
and I'm the different way. I'm the opposite.
You think that they don't? Dude, I'm so like I try to be so forgiving. Like I don't know what that person's going through. I don't know what's happening. I don't think that people want to cut you off. I don't think people are trying to be a bad friend. I think everyone is just doing the best that they can. And I feel like if most people looked at it that way, in most scenarios, relationships, friendships, family, whatever, work, most of the time, Everyone's just trying to do their best. You know?
I'm jaded to the point where I got the shit end of the stick first. So then I'm like always like I see some, I'm like, what was that about? And I have to catch myself and I have to be like, hey, like that perspective could be totally just on your own. Which that's one of the things I wanted to mention. I know like the last portion was like the dating relationship red flags. Like,
oh my God, we didn't even like we got to some of them as we were talking, but I'm telling you, you have to come back. I'm sorry, you guys. You guys send us so many.
I know.
I should rapid fire read these real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick. You know it was over when I was grieving a death in the family and he ignored me for a month and a half. And then when I expressed the way I was feeling, he turned around and blamed me.
Red flag.
He kept getting half naked progress photos and he wasn't even in fitness, bro.
That would be, bro.
What is wrong with these men?
It's like, bro, you're not even fit. Like, what are you talking?
You're not even a trainer. He started taking his phone into the shower.
Shade.
I realized that I was the only giver. We talked a little bit about this one. Friendship ones, I knew the friendship was over when I felt drained every time I spoke to them. Politics, and they disrespected my boyfriend and now husband. I could talk about that one, but I'm going to save that one for another time because I feel like there's two ends to that one. Started judging everyone in my life, including me. I feel that one hard. Stopped being the first to reach out and I haven't heard from them. We talked about that one. And then I started standing up for myself. We talked about that one. And then the dating relationship red flags, not having manners. I'm telling you right now, if you go to a restaurant and you're rude to staff, you're done. Like, I don't care who you are. Friend, like girl, guy, I don't care. Like, you don't be rude. Lack of social media posting. I feel strongly about that one. I will die on that hill. I don't care who you are. We gotta wrap this up because clearly we have ran out of time. Tell everybody where they can find you. Please don't go.
I can stay right here.
Do you want them to follow you on Instagram?
Oh yeah. So if you guys want to follow me, just Fanny Lou on Instagram, TikTok, whatever. I'm not a big Facebook person, but holla, reach out. I haven't been so active, but you'll see me on there. Sometimes I'll have these tangents where I'll just talk forever.
I love that. I love when you talk forever. You guys know where to find me. Oh, before I do that, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Please come back.
Yes, I'll come back.
Like an unofficial co-host?
Yeah.
Unofficial co-host?
Yeah, send in your Aries questions.
I'll save this outline for the next time, guys. You know where to find me, allthings.gpsoto on Instagram. Thanks so much for all of your responses. There were so many. We covered some of them in conversation. Don't forget to check us out next week. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye-bye.